Hello, Stave the Grey from the Hairy Game Lords, and tonight we have been mostly playing Imhotep. What did we think? Find out. So, Imhotep. Imhotep. Sorry, you kind of have to, don't you? It is quite a straightforward game. You have different tasks that you have to do as the builder of Egypt. You have boats, big, small, medium-sized, and it's kind of outthinking your opponent, which, you know, round here. I was going to say it's a challenge, but, you know.
You are rude.
You know, easy marks. But little boats, you can put one of your blocks on and get straight to your task. Bigger boats, bigger rewards, and there are loads of different ways to get the points, and it's just down to deciding what you're going to go for. I went for the cards that it's quite a standard. Get one card, get 1 point, get 2 cards, get 4 points, get 5 cards, get all of the points. Which, you know, that's one way to go. If you want to be building temples, the more temple-y stuff you do, the more points you get. So it's all about deciding which route you want to go down. Try and do a bit of everything. You're going to come a cropper because you're going to get low scores for every bit rather than getting into the really big points. And Ange and James, just with their tombs, it was just ridiculous. It really was absolutely ridiculous. But me and Pete had kind of gone down a different route, so putting our cubes into there to try and slow down their scoring would also have been really detrimental to our scoring. So you're torn in about 7 different ways, and you have to just put your head down and go for it, and then lose, you know. James turned up and actually won, you know. It doesn't happen very often. Cast your mind back over previous videos. Subscribe down there, by the way, and just relive all the ways that James hasn't won. I'm just.
Don't ally with James.
I'm just old, bitter, and yeah. If you ever happen to come across us, don't ally with James. That's all I'm saying. But no, this is a really nice, simple game, but there's a lot of thought that goes into it. And loads of different tactics, so to be honest, I'm itching to play it again because I know where I went wrong. I'll get him next time. And yeah, just all the different variations of your tactics are probably never ending. So absolutely great game. KOSMOS, yet again, knocked it out the park. Loved it, want to play it again. Can't say fairer than that.
Slightly bearded James here, and okay, full disclaimer. The guys say don't ally with me. It's not because I'm going to stab you in the back, it's because I am inept. So I am a trustworthy fool, if that's helpful. Just need to put my honour in check there. Okay, righty. So a little bit more about how you play this game. So Dave mentioned there's boats. You've got diddly boats. You've got smaller boats than that. You've got some big fat boats there. It does matter which way your boat is facing. So all of the boats are coming into the region. Okay, I can't remember what it's called. Somebody I'm sure will help me out there. But you're going to be choosing which of your boats, because there's going to be a little array of them, which of your boats you're going to put your cubes on. Oh, by the way, cubes are meaty, not literally meaty. These are made of wood, so vegan friendly, and they are so tactile. You put them onto which slot you want. So for example, so that's first off the boat, and then the next one along, whether it is here or here, is going to be second off, and so on. So when a boat has got, for example, this one needs 3 before it can be unloaded, then you can, instead of putting stuff on, you can send it to the right location. Now the locations, there's going to be quite a few of those to be choosing from. They are double-sided, which is amazing. So you've got, for example, the obelisk, where you're basically stacking them up. You got the burial tomb, where you're looking to make combinations, where you got like massive kind of blocks of your your burial blocks there. Andrew and I mopped up on the burial tomb.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we got
Temple.
the temple. The temple is this is the one that I didn't get at all. You don't need to do this one to win. But basically, if you put your things there, then every round that it is visible from the top, so for example, filling up along, every time you can see yours from above, you will get a point at the end of each round. You've got the super cards location there, so if you are first into that location with your block, then you will get the first pick of the super cards. Some of them are really, really helpful for getting your blocks on, getting the boats unloaded. Some of them are great for end of game scoring. And finally, you've got the pyramid, because who doesn't love a good pyramid in Egypt? And this one's different because depending on where you are going to be filling up and which order you're going into, you're going to get different points. So you want to think carefully about where on the boat your block is, because that is the order it's going to be coming off. And eventually you're making your way up to the top person gets 4 points. So loads of ways to get points. And yeah, basically you want to think carefully about whereabouts in the boats do you want to work. Which ones do you think are going to go where? If you go for a smaller boat, you'll be able to get more choice potentially. But you might come round to your go, and before you've even got back to your boat, Dave scuppered you and chucked it onto the pyramid, which you aren't interested in at all. The other thing that I've not mentioned yet is every person's got one of these. This is your tray of blocks. One of the actions you can do is refresh your blocks to by 3, maximum of 5, and then this is what you are placing onto the boats from. So you are going to have a fallow round every so often, but actually we find that really kind of paces the game nicely. So that is how you play the game, and if you want to see a little bit more about how to win the game, you can message me directly.
Hipster King here with the messages on how to lose the game effectively, because I failed horrendously. I kind of went with a strategy early on, doing what I quite often do, which is try to go for early round scoring. I went with the temple pretty much every time. Not always out of choice, and that's one of the things that James hinted at with the game, is that you'll start laying your blocks onto the boats into the position that's going to be best. So I'm looking at the pyramid and I'm thinking, right, well, if I put it on the 3rd slot, I'm going to score my 3 points this round. So I put it on the 3rd slot, and then of course Dave, pretty much always Dave, spots what I'm about and shoves my boat into the temple. So I ended up, that was pretty much where I had to score and keep trying to score on that one. So at the end of the game, before we did end the game scoring, I was out in front by a considerable margin, but I was fully aware that there was absolutely nothing else pretty much for me to, I might have got like 2 extra points somewhere else on the board. So it's about, you need a couple of ways to score your points in this game, and trying to get some early round points, but definitely going after one of the zones that scores well at the end is probably a better strategy. Having lost badly, this was still a really enjoyable game. Would love to play again and sort of rethink my strategies, try a little bit differently, maybe scupper Dave a few times too, get the minute he puts on a boat, just throw it somewhere where he really doesn't want to go, just for fun.
Bearded lady, and artwork's good on this game. It's just it's like your classic history book artwork. Nice, like it. And then basically for me, did a little bit of the kind of in-game scoring, but like to focus on the cards that come out in the marketplace that deliver end point scoring. And what I did, as it's already been said, James and I, we went to town on the burial chamber thing. That was brilliant. In fact, we got the same points from that one, didn't we? It was brilliant. And to the point where no one else bothered even going there, because we were just like, we own this. But the other place was this thing of the temple. I managed to pick up quite early doors a card that said, for every 3 bricks that were on here, I'd get a point, and even if those bricks weren't mine. And so I was like, yeah, Dave, take Pete over to the temple, do it, stitch him up and give me points. So yeah, brilliant stuff. So there's lots of different strategies, as the guys have already said, but this is such an easy game to not only learn but to teach. It's a great game. I think it would work really well as a family game, but also has enough kind of strategy in there that works well at a gamer's table. There's lots of replayability because you can turn over the boards, but then you can mix and match it. There's an expansion out as well that gives you more boards and more cards. So yeah, there's loads and loads to do on this game, but it doesn't take long either. So it's a quick game to learn, but also a quick game to play. Because you're not just keeping on playing. There is a set amount of rounds that you would play, and so it was a case of this game. I think it took about 30 minutes. Was it? It was over really quick, and so even in that, you have to work hard at being able to get your strategy that you're trying to do laid out before those precious rounds are up. A brilliant game, fantastic stuff. Get involved.
Do I have to let me do that? Hello! It's
The backing track of